CMCQ family and friends. Last week I shared with you how to recover and heal from loss, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. After identifying our losses, we have to grieve. Unfortunately, some identify grieving as weakness or too painful or don't know how to grieve, so they avoid it to their long-term detriment. Grieving is an essential part of the human experience, and without it, we can't heal from the losses of life. It is the emotional, physical therapy that we need after trauma. Grieving is allowing yourself to feel your feelings, think your thoughts, lament your loss, and protest your pain to God and to man. Grieving is not an event, but a process which cannot be rushed or fit into a set, neat time frame because it has many stages. There's probably about 7 stages at least of grieving. There's shock and denial. You will probably react to learning of the loss with numb disbelief. There's pain and guilt as the shock wears off. It's replaced with the suffering of unbelievable pain and sorrow. Then there's anger and bargaining, where frustration gives way to anger, and you may lash out and lay unwarranted blame for your loss on someone else or even on God. And then there's a fourth stage of grief. There's depression and reflection and loneliness. And then there's an upward turn of this grieving process as you start to adjust to life without that which you lost. Then there's a stage of reconstruction and working through your grief. As you become more functional, your mind starts working again, and you begin to think, how can I work with this change, this loss? Then there's the final stage of grief, which is acceptance and hope. And during this time, in this last of the 7 stages, you learn to accept and deal with the reality of your situation. And as you take your pain and your sorrow to God, you will understand that God will guide you through it. He will take you through the pain. But I want to suggest to you that there's just 4 ways that we can deal with grief, deal with these 7 stages of grief. And they're very quickly. First of all, you change your relationship with whatever you lost. You're acknowledging and understanding the loss, both positive and negative. Then the second way that you can deal with loss is you develop your own self in your life to encompass and reflect the changes that occurred because of your loss. And then you go to the third stage as discovering and taking on new ways of existing and functioning without whatever it was that you have lost. And then finally, you'll discover new directions for the emotional investments that you once had in the lost person or object or thing. And so, in each of these stages, we are presenting our pain and our sorrow to God. And we remember Jesus grieved, David grieved, Paul grieved. We were built to grieve, and we take our grieving to God. And through the grace of Jesus, He walks with us. And in the midst of our grieving and our sorrow, there's resurrection, the resurrection of hope, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. This is how we heal from loss. We grieve, and we grieve with God, and we are resurrected with hope. Have a wonderful day. God's blessing be upon you.